Hozier is back with a brand new EP to follow up with the EP Unheard, which came out in March. We've now got Unaired. I love this little trend of his where he will put out a full album and then sort of like follow it up with a couple of extra chapters, as he kind of likes to refer to it, with some nice follow-up content that's been sort of recorded over the same period of time. I really like that. I've always thought it must be heartbreaking to sort of record songs and then fully just throwing them off into the ether to get put on a greatest unheard songs collection after you die kind of thing. So no, I respect that a lot. And obviously Unheard was huge because that's the one that features Too Sweet on it. And Too Sweet, I'm pretty sure, is now his biggest song. Let's have a look. No, okay, no, so it's most popular on his profile, but, Take Me to Church has actually got billions of plays, which is nuts, to be fair. But I also wonder whether or not it's kind of like a ghost effect, where after one song goes viral, like Too Sweet, it kind of picks up the rest of the catalogue. I'd love to know what his monthly listeners were like before Too Sweet came out. And to be fair, that song has still got 816 million plays, which is absolutely insane considering it came out in March. And actually, my video covering Too Sweet is my best performing video as well, completely by fluke. I covered it like a month or so before it got really huge. I think it was probably TikTok. And suddenly that video's got like 16,000 views, which is a big deal to someone like me. So yeah, no, surprising enough, bit of a fan. No, I actually really have a lot of time and respect for Hozier. My hipster radar's going, wee, he's too popular, don't listen. But he feels genuine to me. I don't know why. He has an air of genuineness to him that I really, really like. His music is just so well crafted. It's so loving. You can tell the talent is pouring out of this guy. So we've got 3 tracks: Nobody's Soldier, July, and That You Are. And he's kind of released a little statement that sort of says what each one of these is about. So the first track, and supposedly the lead single for this EP, is Nobody's Soldier, even though funnily enough it's not the one of the 3 that has a lyric video, but we'll cross that bridge. But it says, a statement about Nobody's Soldier. It highlights the hugely problematic issues of global arms dealing. Fair enough, tackling the big ones. I've got to give him credit for that too. So yeah, let's have a listen. Oh, I like that falling bass line. That's a bit more sort of sass than I'm used to with him, which is a good thing. I like the sparseness of this song so far. It's nice. It's quite a weird harmony. What is that? I think it's just the octaves actually, but it gives it a kind of weirdly ethereal feeling to it. I wonder if this song has got subs yet. No, not yet. Ooh, hello. I love it when he does this with his voice. He has like a really nice transition between like quite soft and in falsetto-y all the way into that like much more powerful, like kind of old school blues voice actually. It's super nice, and also that kicking up at the same time as that guitar coming into my pan. Whoa, we're liking this. Is that a flute? I can't tell. It sounds like there's a flute going on in my ear. I like the urgency of the drums in this one. Ooh. That's another thing that Hozier's done well a lot, is he suddenly puts those very empowering sort of like backing vocals in there, that kind of choral harmony. It really works to elevate the song without really adding much to it. It's great. You can feel the influences pulled in here. Oh, I like that flute in the corner. I'm pretty sure that is a flute. Woo. Nice. I wish I could understand the lyrics a little bit better, but I'm sure that will come with time. Oh, I really like that falling part. It makes it sound like it's part of like a film soundtrack or something. I really like the vibe of this one. It's got like a really clever energy. That kind of offbeat nature of the drums versus the vocal line is... Oh, a little DJ scratch there as well. He never leaves like a fill unused, but they're never that intrusive, which is a hard line to fit. Yeah, there's some like strange effects going on over this, but they're not like overstated. I love this flute. Yeah, the way this chorus kind of builds up and I'm backing vocals. There they are. Nice. That's got an elative feeling to it. The song is almost too joyous for the subject matter. that little trill, that beep 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 that comes in like the second half of that chorus is so on it. It does such a good way of like introducing you to the second repeat, which has also made me realize that the other bit is in fact not the chorus, it's the pre-chorus. I think I don't know. It's structured probably fairly traditionally. It's just like each part is very substantial. Those back in harmonies. Woo! Just the nuance between the way everything's panned and like how it's all brought up, and then it got really dramatic. Is that string section? It sounds like it. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely a string section. Ready? 1, 2. Yeah, that was such a nice little. That was a very effective use of a little fallout there. Just and then his voice leading into that chorus. Whew! Just wrestle in my jimmies. I think the backing vocals are mixed up a little bit more now. I'm not sure. God, inject that flute into my veins. This chorus is so effective. The whole like way this song builds up, and it has that this bass slide bit down here, which makes it sound almost like a James Bond film or something. Whoa! It's like so dramatic, but then the song kind of backs it up with all the like over. No, I was about to say over instrumentation, which is not right. That was great. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, it's not over instrumented. That's definitely not quite how you're meant to say that. It's like perfect amounts, but there's quite a lot. Like you wouldn't expect necessarily Hozier to bust out a jazz flute and what sounded like a multi-part string thing to go in there. Along with that, yeah, I don't know, it was a very cleverly diverse thing, but not all of it was playing simultaneously, so it never got like too overwhelming. It still managed to maintain quite a sparse, yeah, I don't know, quite a sparse not timbre, sort of feel it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It maintained quite a sparse. I'm going to go ahead and say it maintained a sparse structure, which I'm pretty sure is not what I was going for that, but my brain just turned off on that sentence, so well done me. But yeah, no, that song was great. It had lots of really interesting influences. Like, it was more upbeat than I'm used to with the drum beat. I mean, more upbeat than I'm used to when a Hozier song comes on. I'm expecting it to be a little bit slower, a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know not everything is written as Take Me to Church, but generally speaking, but I really like the extra pace on that one. The way it builds up, the backing harmonies coming in just to like really elate that chorus, the weird little bass slide, the jazz flute. That was great. I'll have to go back and listen to the lyrics because I'm kind of interested to hear how political they are. Because, I mean, one of the articles I read was like, listen to, what was it, Enemy, listen to Hozier's powerful political new single, Nobody Soldier. And I couldn't understand what he was saying most of the time, but that's fine. We have got lots of time to absorb that song. But anyway, let's move on to July, which actually does have a lyric video, which is interesting. So this one, he says in his statement, is the sister song to Wildflower and Barley from the previous EP, which I'll admit I've heard like twice. I didn't pick up loads on that one, so the references go a little bit lost on me, but I'm sure someone else in the comments might know. But supposedly this was written whilst awaiting the pandemic's passing, so this is a pandy song, which means he's been sitting on it for a little while. Actually, I take it back what I said about these being part of the same era to some degree, which I also wonder if that's maybe why it's got a lyric video unlike the other ones. This was just like been in the bank for a while. So yeah, anyway, we might as well have a look at the lyric video. They're usually quite good. For the one for Too Sweet, he had interesting stuff to look at the same time. So yes, let's listen to number 2 of this EP, July. Oh, there's that goddamn flute again. Is this like a thing I don't know about Hozier, that he just like loves a flute? Yeah, see, that's interesting. I wonder whether this lyric video must have been made about the same time as the one for Too Sweet, because the visuals are quite similar. Like, it's sort of like time-lapsey, nature-y stuff, which is cool. I like it. It's just interesting that this feels like Birds of a Feather with that song. Oh, that subtle little guitar in the background there, though. Oh. Almost reminds me of the way that Jack White kind of like teases his guitar lines in. Quite a strange sort of vibe to it. Drums are going kind of like hard though. Oh, I'm assuming lyrically this is possibly also about COVID, which is interesting. Okay. Oh, I like that, like the bass line sliding up there. I like the visuals. It's not, I mean, it's a lyric video, but it's pleasing. Well shot. I'm starting to figure out why it's called July. That's interesting that this song is like quite topically like giving me COVID lockdown vibes. It's interesting he chose to release it, but it's a good piece of music. This is like the flute and piano doing like a lot of the work to like anchor this song, and it does have a kind of like bizarrely whimsical nature to it, which I find quite appealing. It's a far cry to the last song though. It's interesting, like the dichotomy there. But it's so clever, like every opportunity to end a phrase with like some slight variation, something like that. You can tell this is written by a master of his art, you know? God damn, that is a beautiful little falsetto he's got there. It's such a lovely, like, soft way of entering into this chorus. I really like the bass line for this too. Boom, boom. Yeah, nice. I mean, I appreciate it. I've always found songs where the chorus is sort of just a repeated lyric a little bit. Could you thought of another word that rhymes with July? Some pie. I'm not going to stop there. That being said, I love the song Ruby, so. It's got nice vibes. I can't get over the flute in my background. The guitar is barely present in this, which does mean it's more effective when it does rock in. I'm assuming we're going to get a little guitar solo now, maybe. I like that falling. There it is. I love that falling. Is that a synth solo I'm hearing? Like a moog? It is! Oh, a little bit tremolo. Oh, the subtlety on that tremolo is lovely. Well, that was a good creative decision. There's barely any guitar in this, but it's a good idea. Man, you know he had that keyboard sitting around in the studio for years, and eventually he's like, I'm gonna use it! It's a very, like, the bass line does a lot of work to really anchor this song down, like, with a sort of, like, chord root. Oh, and a little twing of an acoustic guitar. Oh, no, maybe that wasn't acoustic, but undistorted guitar. Well, I will admit that that one was less to my taste. It's just, like, a bit slower. I like the more upbeat nature of it, but that was a really quite a bizarre song, honestly. Like, the choice of instruments that he used is, like, off the wall, but it actually really works. Like, the way that I did lose my mind a little bit when that freaking synth line came in at the end rather than the guitar solo that I was sort of expecting. I thought it might kick up a gear, but actually I'm quite glad it didn't. It just made the entire thing stay. Just got that chill. It really did. I mean, maybe the visuals are helping me with this, and I'm like, you know, having my brain pushed into a certain thing, but it did really feel like a summer breeze going through July, ruffling through the you know, through the sunflowers and all that. The visuals were nice. I mean, it's a lyric video, so what are you gonna do? But it's a superior lyric video. Like, it looks like they went out and captured some really nice footage, which is cool. I always appreciate when people put effort into that kind of stuff. Yeah, I know the chorus I found a little uninspired. I guess actually, if I didn't know that song was written during COVID, I probably wouldn't have picked up on it. But I just have a weird thing where I don't really like hearing media or stuff. I think I just don't like being reminded that was a thing. Like, if any of you have seen Glass Onion, there's a whole shebang at the beginning where it's like taking place during COVID. I really didn't. It just seemed really awkward and it dates it, but that is completely not the case here. So yeah, no, that was good. That was it. I'm curious to hear what the last one's like for the sake of the flow of the EP. Because I'm assuming that, well, we'll see. I was about to say, I'm assuming that'll be slightly, this last one will be slightly less chill, but Who knows? But anyway, let's have a listen to the last one, which also does not have a lyric video. So it's Hozier and Bedouin for this last track, That You Are. Supposedly he went and wrote the song with her in America and recorded it there a little while ago. She is a Syrian-American musician. She's lived in lots of places. I love the list. It's like Saudi Arabia, Houston, Syria, Boston. it's a funny combination of sort of like skipping back and forth. But yeah, I won't pretend I know anything about her. But if Hozier thinks she is good enough to, be collaborated with, and I am all for it. I'm here to listen. So let's have a listen to Hozier and Bedouin. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. That You Are. Be very interested to hear what the sort of Syrian heritage of her side brings into this. That's that goddamn flute again. Ooh, I like the chord progression there. Suddenly very melancholy. Is that flute or synth behind it? I can't tell. His voice is designed to sing shit like this, man. Ooh. The mixing on this is wonderful. That major chord coming in there is really nice. Actually reminds me a little bit of some like chord progressions that John Frusciante would write. And that must be her, maybe. Ooh! That harmony. His voice blends really nicely with the female backing. I can't tell what's her from like an instrumental perspective. I'm gonna have to look up what she plays now. Oh, hello. She's got a very warm, earthy sound to her voice. I really like that. Oh, so it looks like she's playing guitar a lot of the time, at least. Okay. Oh, I like her voice. This one gives me some, like, I don't know, almost some Tim Burton vibes. This is going to sound really weird, but her voice is really making me think of Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Not the song, just the way that she delivers. It's got a kind of, like, warm deepness. Like, she's definitely, like, a lower-voiced female, which I really like. It's not that commonly represented. I like the string line a lot in the background, too. Whoa, when they come together. Anywhere that you are, whatever chords are being used in this are just spectacularly well picked. Whoa, I'm getting shivers. Makes me want to cry. Nice little violin line. Some whistle. God, I'll admit, Hozier uses a far more diverse set of instruments than I realized he did. Maybe that's just like a more recent Hozier arc thing. Now he's got all the money and the time. It's very, like, I don't know, emotional feeling. It kind of feels like he's really getting something off his chest with this. That bass is very deeply mixed as well. Goddamn. It's quite ethereal. Yeah, I think that's the word I'm looking for. I'd love to know what this song is like actually about. Again, no lyrics for this one. It almost sounds sort of, yeah, church-like. He does a very good fall with his vocals. Yeah, their voices work surprisingly well together. He's got quite a soft touch voice for the most part for a bloke, and she's got a comparatively deep voice, it feels like. Not deep, but like she's definitely more tenor than soprano. Well, that was very pretty. I definitely liked Nobody Soldier the most. that song was just right up my street. I really like that one. The nuance in the songwriting for that, like the choice of chords, the way that they all kind of flows into each other, the way that their voices kind of like sort of like ebb and flow that go into each other. You start off with him, he's very slow, then she picks up with those very, very soft but sweet harmonies, and then she gets her time to shine, and she sort of like takes it over a little bit. And her voice is like more round even than his in some ways. They're like, again, I like the nuance. They're having the string section in the background. I couldn't quite tell whether or not it sounded like there was like maybe another keyboard, like a synth or something like that, very quietly mixed in the back. I'm not 100% sure. And then obviously the flute, which apparently is the thing. Someone in the comments has got to let me know if this is like a new thing for Hozier, because I don't remember listening to other Hozier songs. I'm not going to pretend I'm like the biggest super fan who knows every single track he's ever released, but like I don't remember there being much in the way of flute in his stuff. But that's still pretty cool. I like that a lot. The whole EP was great. The flow was nice. That one was probably, it probably was even less upbeat than July, actually, funnily enough. There's barely any drums in that, if any at all. But I think it was a really good idea to lead with that Nobody Soldier. I think it's probably the smart choice for the... it's probably the most similar to Too Sweet, to be honest. The most radio-friendly one, but I did really like the whole thing. It feels like he's earned this like massive leap into stardom now, where I feel like it's fair to say he's one of the bigger male pop artists on the planet right now, and good for him. So yeah, I know that was really interesting. I've never sat down and just listened through an entire EP of his before, so yeah. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think the best track on that album was. Do you like Nobody Soldier like I did, or did you like the more chill vibes of the other two? And also, that may be another good starting point for another album for me to listen to. If people like seeing me react to Hozier content, then maybe there's an album. I know the first one, and that's kind of it. So if there's other ones that are like worth me listening to and maybe doing a video on them, then absolutely tell me and I will go through it. That sounds great. But yes, thank you very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. We're seeing a little uptick in the subs at the moment. This is fantastic news. So yeah, thank you all again, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.